Hey guys, so this is going to be a three-part video series. It is on my Her Hair Company Brazilian body wave hair, and right now you're seeing my 16-inch frontal and two 18 and two 20-inch bundles of Brazilian body wave hair. So now my sister Toshiba, aka the Queen Life Georgia, on Facebook and Instagram is doing a shed test on the hair and seeing about tangles and whatnot, and we only got a few shed hairs from this bundle of hair. Now here's one of the most important parts of making a frontal wig is placing the hairline about 2 inches in front of where the dome cap or mesh cap stops. That's what she's making sure she's already measured it out. Now she's pinning it down. So we're just going to go ahead and get started sewing the frontal down. There's really nothing special about this process. If you've seen a frontal wig tutorial, then you probably seen it all. You know, you can do it yourself. And I had to really psych myself out of being able to sew frontals and stuff. But after doing 5 weeks with my sister this past weekend, I think I'm pretty good at it now. And I think I can give it a shot on my own. And here we are sewing down the last few stitches before I actually try on the frontal to make sure if it's secure and snug on my head. Yeah, there's really not much to this part right here, just sewing it in and then trying it on. So for this part, I have the frontal on my head right now, and you see that it's going a little bit above my ear, covering my ear. So where my sister's pointing to is where you will actually cut the hair and the lace. I repeat, this is where you will cut the hair and the lace. So right now we are starting on the first 20-inch bundle. Just make sure when you're sewing through the elastic, when you're sewing the first few tracks in the back, that you do not sew through the elastic band at all. If you do that, your wig will be too tight and it will not fit on your head, because the elastic gives it stretch and the ability to adjust to certain head shapes. Now we're at the point where we actually flip the track over, and what you see my sister doing now is wrapping the thread around the needle 3 times to actually make a knot at that point, so that track is very secure on the mesh cap. And we're just going to continue to flip over that track and then sew it on. So now we are almost towards the end of this frontal wig. It probably only took her about 1 hour and 10 minutes. Compared to my first wig, which took me about 3 days of hours and hours of actual hard work trying to, you know, make sure everything was straight and make sure everything was secure and tight like it needs to be. But, you know, the more you practice with these things, the better you get. And I've learned that over the weekend. Well, over the last 2 days that I spent in Georgia with my sister. It was a very enlightening experience, and I learned a lot. I'm glad to have a sister that is a licensed cosmetologist who can teach me, you know, how to create these things myself. So now we are at the last and final track, and what you want to make sure you do now is sew the last track to the lace, to the back of the frontal, so everything is really flush and really secure and just really flat. You don't want like lumps and bumps throughout your hair. Right now she's just securing that last piece of track right there with that triple tied knot, and she's going to do it again to make sure it is very secure. My sister is really a perfectionist when it comes to these things. She really wants it to be, you really want it to be really secure right here. This is why she is continually placing knots as she goes throughout that last track that's going to be attached to the frontal, because you don't want it getting loose, you don't want it moving at all. And now we are cutting this last piece off.
Is this the video? Yeah.
So guys, make sure you check out part 2 of this video, and that is the actual bleaching and coloring of this hair. And then part 3 will be my initial review on this Her Hair Company Brazilian body wig.